Welcome to our wonderful book Goals by Brian Tracy. Today we're going to be reading the chapter number 7 with the hope that we'll be able to implement the learnings and take this chapter forward. So Richard M. DeVos talked about in analyzing your beliefs, the only thing that stands between a man and what he wants from life is often merely the will to try it and the faith to believe that it is possible. Perhaps the most important of all mental laws is the law of belief. The law says that whatever you believe with convictions becomes your reality. You do not believe what you see what you already believe. You actually view your world through a lens of beliefs, attitudes, prejudices, and preconceived notions. You're not what you think you are, but what you think you are. In the Old Testament, it says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. This means that you always act on the outside based on your innermost beliefs and convictions about yourself. In the New Testament, Jesus says, according to your faith, it is done unto you. This is another way of saying that your intense beliefs become your realities. They determine what happens to you. Dr. William James of Harvard said in 1905, belief creates the actual fact. He went on to say, the greatest revolution of my generation is a discovery that individuals, by changing the inner attitudes of mind, can change the outer aspects of their lives. Change your thinking, change your lives. And there's also a book available like this, which is very, very powerful. But let's talk about what is written here. All improvements in your life come from changing your beliefs about yourselves and the possibilities. Personal growth comes from changing your beliefs about what you can do and about what is possible for you. Would you like to double your income? Of course you would. Here is a question. Do you believe that it is possible? How do you like to triple your income? Do you believe that it is possible as well? Whatever your level of skepticism, let me ask you a question. Since you started your first job, haven't you already doubled or tripled your income? Aren't you already earning vastly more than you earned when you started? Haven't you already proven to yourself that it is possible to double and triple your income? And what you have done before, you can do again and probably over and over. If you just learn how, you simply have to believe that it is possible. Napoleon Hill said, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Your master program for success, what is it? Perhaps the greatest breakthrough in the 20th century in the field of human potential was the discovery of the self-concept. Everything you do or achieve in your life, every thought, feeling, or action is controlled and determined by your self-concept. Your self-concept precedes and predicts your levels of performance and effectiveness in every single thing you do. Your self-concept is a master program of your mental computer. It is a basic operating system. Everything that you accomplish in your outer world is a result of your self-concept. What psychologists have discovered is that your self-concept is made up of the sum total of all of your beliefs, attitudes, feelings, and opinions about yourself and your world. Because of this, you always operate in a manner consistent with your self-concept, whether positive or negative. Garbage in, garbage out. What does this mean? Now, here is a very interesting discovery about the self-concept. Even if your self-concept is made of erroneous beliefs about yourself or your world, as far as you're concerned, these are facts and you will think, feel, and act accordingly. As it happens, your beliefs about yourself are largely subjective. They're often not based on fact at all. They're the result of information you've taken in throughout your life and the way you have processed that information. Your beliefs have been shaped and formed by your early childhood, your friends and associates, your reading and education, your experience, both negative and positive, and 1,000 other factors. The worst of all beliefs and self-limiting beliefs, if you believe yourself to be limited in some way, whether or not it is true, it becomes true for you. If you believe it, you will act as if you are deficient in that particular area of talent or skill. Overcoming self-limiting beliefs and self-imposed limitations is often the biggest obstacle standing between you and the realization of your full potential. So now we talk about very, very important concepts in our life in this particular chapter that we've just read, like half of it. What does this mean? We have often talked about in manifestation that there's something called limiting beliefs. We are a mass product of what we think, what we do, how we act, because of our society. And it's very, very easy to get sucked into that world and have those limiting beliefs because that's what your family and friends have said, and you believe in that. But how about rewriting, reprogramming, and reworking on our own life's future? Because ultimately, only we can create our own future, not anybody else's. Only we can bring about a change in ourselves, not in anybody else. Yes, we can talk to 10 million people. They can hear what we say, but they individually will only change if what we've said about them or talk with them, if that resonates with them and they believe that, yes, this is my turning point. So the final change is done by the person and not by, not by families. So when people say, I don't have anybody's support, I'm all alone, I'm not blessed to be financially rich or to have this and that, these are all limiting beliefs. In India itself, there are beautiful resonating stories of children who cracked the IASs. Then they've been children living in the slums, but they've reached the best of offices. The best of people right now in the world are not even fully graduates, and they're doing what they're doing. We have so many success stories. Why? Because they believe that they can do it. So one thing we realize in this book, beautiful book, Goals by Brian Tracy, is self-belief. What is my concept about myself? And if I have limiting beliefs, what do I do to get them out of me? बोलना बहुत easy है. I have this self-limiting belief. Arey, this can't be done. Why can't it be done? If I really have the fire in my tummy to make this possible, then what are the blockages? And how do I kill these blockages one by one? Remove them out of my life once and for all. Now, very important advice is coming our way, which says ignore the experts. Albert Einstein was sent home from school as a young man with a learning disability. His parents were told that he was incapable of being educated. They refused to accept this diagnosis, eventually arranged for him to get an excellent education. Dr. Albert Schweitzer had the same problem at school as a boy. His parents were encouraged to apprentice him to a shoemaker, that he would have a safe, secure job when he grew up. Both men went to earn doctorates before the age of 20 and to leave their mark on the history of the 20th century. According to an article in Fortune magazine on learning disabilities in business, many presidents, senior executives of Fortune 500 corporations today were diagnosed in school as being not particularly bright or capable. But by virtue of hard work, they went on to achieve great success in their industries. And the vice versa also comes true. Now, you may be really a bright mind, full of capacity. People say, oh my Lord, he is the house captain, school captain, president, blah, 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 blah. But if he hasn't been consistent, if he hasn't been disciplined, if he doesn't work hard, then he will not be successful. And again, something comes true. Now, in a family of super riches, you have inherited richness because your grandfather and father were rich, but you don't know how to continue carrying the riches. You don't believe in the system. Then what will happen? Despite being given all the riches, you will go down. So at times, shut the hell up to people who keep becoming foreseers, foretellers about your astrology, about your numerology, or about something, something, something. If you believe in yourself, nothing is going to deter you. Yes, this astrology, numerology, they may help you with the right time, maybe. But if you become dependent upon them, chances are you will always become dependent upon them in the future. Any decision you want to take, you'll be like, okay, let me consult this. And then you will be wasting time and the golden moment may have gone. So ignore the experts is one beautiful advice being given to us. Sometimes your family will say, you can't do it. Tum to nikam mein ho, tumhare bas ka hi nahi. Prove them wrong by doing what you want, by saying, yes, I can do it. And we've been told in the same book to not to not talk about our goals and dreams too early in the day, because the same people who are discouraging you will get a point in their life to talk about it with you by saying, "Oh, we told you before only, you couldn't do it." So, again, this book is giving us the ways on how to become a better person. Extremely important for all of us. Thomas Edison was expelled from school in sixth grade. His parents were told that he would be a waste of time to spend any money educating him, because he was particularly he was not particularly smart or capable of being taught anything. Imagine Thomas Edison, the one that we vouch for. Everybody knows his name, every little child knows his name. And that person was told that he's not bright enough. Edison went on to become the greatest inventor of the modern age. This kind of story has been repeated thousands of times. Self-limiting beliefs, sometime based on a single experience or a casual remark, can hold you back for years. Almost everyone has had the experience of mastering a skill in an area where they thought they had no ability, and being quite surprised at themselves. Perhaps this has happened to you. You suddenly realize that your limiting ideas about yourself in that area were not based on fact at all. So this makes all of us think, okay, now what are my limiting ideas? Okay, where did this come from? Oh, that auntie or that chachi or that kaki or that masi or that uncle or that parent told me that time because of this situation, but that doesn't mean that I am not capable of this. It's very interesting to know one more thing about achieving something is that we challenge our own selves, that I can be my best friend, my best supporter, and I can do this. And I'm not alone. Why? Those who are spiritually inclined will know that we have a higher self always guiding us. And when we are in tune with the higher self, then we are never alone, because then we are just carrying on with such beautiful divine intelligence. You are better than you know. And Louise Hay, the writer, she is somebody I look up to crazy. May she be resting in heavens above. Says that the roots of most of our problems in life are contained in the feeling I am not good enough, or that I'm not rich enough, or I'm not lucky enough, or I'm not at the right place at the right time. Such kind of conjecture, such kind of words, such kind of phrases, such kind of negative affirmations. These are also affirmations, because negatively you're affirming something, you're agreeing to something. Dr. Alfred Adler said that it is a natural inheritance of Western man to have feelings of inferiority. Now, I'm not only say Western man, every man, every woman, every human being tends to feel inferior at some point of time in their life, if not all the time. But what starts in childhood and often continues through adult life must be challenged by ourselves. What are we inferior about? I have my dreams, I have my goals. I can crack them because I know the right thing will happen to me at the right time. It's happened to hundreds before us, and I would say thousands. But 95% of the people don't crack it because of the lack of belief, because of limiting belief, because of inferiority complexes. Many people, because of their negative beliefs, most of which are erroneous, falsely consider themselves to be limited in intelligence, talent, capability, creativity, or some kind of skill. In virtually every case, these beliefs are false. That's a good news. The fact is that you have more potential than you could ever use in your entire lifetime. No one is better than you, and no one is smarter than you. People are just smarter or better in different areas at different times. Now, how could we all be a genius? Let's understand this. Consistency, of course, that does help. According to Dr. Howard Gardner of Harvard University, the founder of the concept of multiple intelligences, you are possessed of at least 10 different intelligences, in any one of which you might be a genius. Unfortunately, only two intelligences are measured and reported throughout school and university: verbal and mathematical. But you could be a genius in the areas of visual-spatial intelligence, which means art and design. Whatever you see, visualize, in spatial management, people are architects, people are doing so much more. You could be having entrepreneurial intelligence. There's so many people who have startups. Even the biggest entrepreneur we know in India is Ambani. He was an entrepreneur. He cracked the code while working in a different country and he got it back in our country, knowing that there's a need, and he started it come what may. On a small little cycle, a small little bag, he did it. And there's so many more, hundreds and thousands more in our own country. Forget the world. Physical or kinesthetic intelligence in sports. People have been such amazing sportsmen without any background, but they've cracked it by determination. Musical intelligence, playing musical instruments, writing music. Interpersonal intelligence, getting along well with others. Intrapersonal intelligence, understanding yourself at a deep level, which is something all of us should be on a pursuit for. To understand what is my intelligence. Forget the world. We don't need report cards and anybody's validation. We need to know ourselves and what am I capable of? What is my biggest advantage? Why should we wait for others to tell us, oh, you're good at this? That could help, of course. Intuitive intelligence, ability to sense the right thing to do or to say. Now, intuition is something which is always there in all of us. Unfortunately, many of us don't listen to it. वो कुछ बोल भी रही है तो हम shut up. मुझे तो ये बोलना है and I just get away with whatever I say. But one thing to realize is very, very important for all of us to understand that we are all here for a reason. And we can talk about intelligence, we can talk about wisdom, we can talk about anything in the world. But the most important thing that we forget to do is connect with ourselves. Knowledge is something that speaks to all of us, but wisdom is something that listens. So, if you truly want to become wise, my dear loved ones, these friends who are reading the book with me, let's just become wiser by listening to our intuition or to others also. Karo apni, suno sabki. We've heard that adage a lot of times, right? There's one more intelligence, artistic intelligence, creating works of art, or abstract intelligence, being very good at physics, science. Such people become physicists, scientists. As the saying on the wall of the inner school reads, God, don't make no junk. Each person is capable of achieving excellence in some way, in some area. You have within you right now the ability to function at genius or exceptional levels in at least one and perhaps several different intelligences. Your job is to find out what it could be for you. Your responsibility to yourself is to cast off all these self limiting beliefs and accept that you're an extraordinarily capable and talented person. You are engineered for greatness and designed for success. You have competencies and capabilities that have never been tapped. You have the ability within yourself right now to accomplish almost any goal you can set for yourself. If you're willing to work long enough and hard enough to achieve it, it's possible. Your beliefs are acquired, not inborn. That's another great news. Like good habits are inculcated by practice, practice, practice. We develop them, right? Similarly, our beliefs can be inculcated. We can learn to believe. We can learn to become believers. The good news about beliefs is that all beliefs are learned. They can therefore be unlearned, especially if they are not helpful. When you come into the world, when you came in the world, you had no beliefs at all about yourself, your religion, your political party, other people, or in the world in general. Today, you know a lot of things. But as the cosmic Josh Billings once wrote, it ain't what a man knows what hurts him, it's what he knows that what ain't true. There are many things that you know about yourself that is simply not true, and they're almost always in the area of self-limiting beliefs. Starting point of unlocking more of your potential is for you to identify your self-limiting beliefs and then ask, what if they were not true at all? What if you were possessed of an extraordinary ability in an area where you didn't think you were very good at all, such as selling, entrepreneurship, public speaking, money making? Think of yourself differently. Everywhere I go throughout the world, I've taught these principles to tens of thousands of people. I've filing drawers full of letters and emails from people who had never heard this idea of self-limiting belief before. But once they heard it, they changed their entire attitudes towards themselves. They began to see themselves as far more competent and capable in key areas of their lives that they had ever seen before. In no time at all, they began transforming their lives, changing their results. Their incomes doubled, tripled, quadrupled. Many of them became millionaires and multimillionaires. They went from the bottom of their companies to the top, from the worst performer in the sales forces to the highest earning person in their companies. After they changed their beliefs about themselves and their personal potentials, they learned new skills and took on new challenges. They set bigger goals and threw their whole heart into achieving them. By questioning their beliefs and by refusing to accept that they limited in any way, they took complete charge. Isn't that amazing? Complete charge of their lives and careers and created new realities for themselves. And what others have done, you can do as well. Now, another important advice, it's coming. And in fact, this book is full of beautiful advices. Select the beliefs you want. Imagine that there was a belief store, very much like a computer software store, that you could visit and purchase a belief to program into your subconscious mind. If you choose any set of beliefs at all, which beliefs would be the most helpful to you? Here's my suggestion. Select this belief. I am destined to be a big success in my life. If you absolutely believe that you're destined to be great success, you will walk, talk, and act as if everything that happens to you in your life is part of a great plan to make you successful. And if it happens, this is how the top people think in every field. So that's another very beautiful affirmation, belief that you can actually imbibe in you is, wherever I go, prosperity follows. That's something by Louis Hay that I've learned. You can also have another belief in you. Luck is by my side. I'm always in the right place at the right time, meeting the right people and coming to fruition in the rightest possible way. So whatever works for you, believe it. Look for the good in people. This is the top stories of people who are in the top industries, in the top fields, they're the top 5%. What do? They start seeing good in other people. Top people look for the good in every situation. They know that it is always there. No matter how many reversals, setbacks, experience, expect to get something good out of everything that happens to them. They believe that every setback is part of a great plan that is moving them inexorably towards achieving the great success that is inevitable for them. If your beliefs are positive enough, you will seek the valuable lesson in every setback of difficulty. You will confidently believe that there are many things that you have to learn on the road to achieving and keeping your ultimate success. You therefore look upon every problem as a learning experience. Napoleon Hill wrote, within every difficulty or obstacle, there is a seed of an equal or greater advantage or benefit. And I would always say, with every knock and shock of life, there's always a lesson to be learned. This is what I've learned from my Bhagavad Gita, from my Vedanta teachings, which I've learned from so many of my teachers. But when a knock and shock of life is given to you, firstly, you're capable of handling it. Secondly, it's been given to you to learn something out of it. And if you learn, the knock and shock will never come again. But if you don't learn, it'll keep repeating like in a loop again and again and again. Then you'll say, मेरे साथ ही क्यों होता है? Because मैंने lesson नहीं सीखा. So ask, write, reflect. Thinking in your mind is very catastrophic. Why? Because there are thousands and thousands of thoughts in your mind. 30 to 40,000 thoughts, they say it comes in a human mind every single day. So thinking will only make you more in a loop, in a riot of thoughts. So write them down with clarity. Find out a time for reflection. Very important, at daily level. Now, with this kind of attitude, you benefit from everything that happens to you, positive or negative, as you move upward and onward towards achieving your major definite purpose. So again, simply we can say it, I look at my life with the glass full attitude. Anything that happens to me, I always look at the bright side. These are some things we can believe and think about it. Act your way into feeling. There is a law of reversibility in psychology and metaphysics that says you're more likely to act yourself into feeling a particular way that you are to feel yourself into acting. What this means is that when you start off, you may not feel like the great success you desire to be. You will not have the self-confidence that comes with the record of successful achievement. You will often doubt your own abilities and fear failure. You will feel that you're not good enough, at least not yet. But if you act as if you were already the person you desire to be, with the qualities and talents that you desire to have, your actions will generate the feeling that go with them. You will actually act yourself into feeling the way you want to feel by the law of reversibility. That's what they say in spiritual language, fake it till you make it. So if we start feeling it, okay, this is who I am. That's why they talk about visualization. You're visualizing, it's a process. When you visualize your mind, it'll happen in real life. It may take a while, but that's why they say faith and patience. If you want to be one of the top people in your business, dress like the top people, groom like the top people, organize your work habits the way they do, pick the most successful people in your field and use them as your role models. If possible, go to them and ask them for advice on how to get ahead more rapidly. And whatever advice they give you, follow it immediately, take action. This is something I learned from another cousin of mine. Even when he introduced a very new company and he couldn't afford it, he would travel in business class all the time. Why? He said, every time I sit next to somebody, he was into transportation. He said, whenever I sit next to somebody, I pitch my company. I speak to them for the first hour, get warmer. And then when they just ask, where are you traveling? What are you going for? Talk about my work. And then I show my brochure. And invariably, he becomes my client because everybody needs road lines. Everybody needs transportation. And today he's reached one of the very top companies in the country in a very short span of time. Because this is what he did. He went to those people who were his neighbors sitting on the seat with him, and he would ask them for advice. What do you think? How did you manage this? How did you manage that? Write it down, reflect on it, and he took action. Taking action is the most important thing, which this book Goals teaches us. When you start to walk, talk, dress, and behave like the top people, you soon begin to feel like the top people. You will treat other people like the top people do. You will work the way the top people work. You will start to get the results that the top people get. In no time at all, you will be one of the top people yourself. It may be tried to say, fake it until you make it, but there's a lot of truth to this. There comes the adage again and again. A secret of a sales manager. A friend of mine is a very successful sales manager. After he had carefully interviewed and then selected a new salesman, he would take the salesman to a Cadillac dealership and insist that he trade in his old car for a new Cadillac. The salesman would usually balk at the idea. He would be frightened at the cost of the car and the huge monthly payments involved, but the sales manager would insist that he buy the Cadillac as a condition of employment. What do you think happened afterward? Firstly, the salesman would drive the car home, and his wife would almost have a heart attack when she saw that he bought a new Cadillac. But after she had settled down, he would take her for a ride around the neighborhood in the new Cadillac. The neighbors would see him driving a new Cadillac as he waved his way past. He would park his new Cadillac in front of the house or in his driveway. People would come over and admire gradually, imperceptibly, at a subconscious level. His attitude towards himself and his earning potential would begin to change. What a shift! What a strategy! Hats off. Within a few days, he begins to see himself as the kind of person who drove a new Cadillac. He saw himself as a money man, as a big money earner in his field. He saw himself as one of the top performers in his industry. And after time, almost without fail, average salespeople in the organization became sales superstars. Their sales performance jumped and they earned more than they had ever before. Soon, the payments of the new Cadillac were of no concern because their incomes were so much greater. Create the mental equivalent. Emmett Fox, a spiritual teacher, once said that your main job in life is to create the mental equivalent within yourself of what you want to realize and enjoy in your outer world. पहले अंदर देखो फिर बाहर मिलेगा. Your focus must be on creating the beliefs within yourself that are consistent with the great success you want to be in your outer world. You achieve this by challenging your self-limiting beliefs, rejecting them, and then acting as if they did not exist. You reinforce the development of new life-enhancing beliefs by increasing your knowledge and skills in your field to the point where you feel equal to any demand or challenge. You accelerate the development of new positive ideas, beliefs by setting bigger and small exciting goals in every area. Finally, you act continually as if you were already the person you desire to be. Your aim is to reprogram your subconscious mind for success by creating the mental equivalent in everything you do or say. Just let me flip through, so we can read these 3 pages. Behave consistent with your new self-image. You develop new beliefs by taking constant action with those beliefs. You act as if you already believe that you have these capabilities and competences. You behave like a positive, optimistic, and cheerful person towards everyone. You act as if your success were already guaranteed. You act as if you have a secret guarantee of success and only you know about it. You realize that you're developing, shaping, and controlling the evolution of your own character and personality by everything that you do and say every single day. Since you become what you think about, you should only say and do those things that are consistent with your self ideal, the person you most aspire to be, your long term future ideals. You should only think and talk about the things that are moving you towards becoming the person you want to be and towards achieving the goals that you want to achieve. So, one thing, make a decision. Make a decision this very day to challenge and reject any self limiting beliefs that you might have that could be holding you back. Look into yourself and question the areas of your life where you have doubts about your abilities or talents. You might ask your friends and family members if they see any negative beliefs that you might have. Often they will be aware of negative self limiting beliefs you have that you're not aware of yourself. In every case, once you have identified these negative beliefs, ask yourself, what if the opposite were true? What if you had the ability to be extraordinarily successful in an area where you currently doubt yourself? What if you had been programmed from infancy with genius ability in a particular area? For example, what if you had within you right now the ability to earn and keep all the money you could ever want throughout your life? What if you had a golden touch with regard to money? If you absolutely believed these things to be true, what would you do differently from what you are doing today? Keep your words and actions consistent. Your beliefs are always manifested in your words and actions. Make sure that everything you say and do from now on is consistent with the beliefs that you have to do and the person that you want to become. In time, you will replace more and more of your self limiting beliefs with self enhancing beliefs. Over time, you will completely reprogram your self success. When this occurs, a transformation that takes place in your outer life will amaze you and all the people around you. So, analyzing our beliefs, how do we do that? It's a 5-step program. Act as if. If you were one of the top most competent and highly respected people in your field, how do you think, act, and feel differently from today? Number 2, imagine that you have a golden touch with regard to money. If you were an extremely competent money manager, how would you handle your finances? Number 3, identify the self limiting beliefs that could be holding you back. How would you act as if you were completely untrue? Number 4, select a belief that you would most like to have about yourself at a deep inner level. Pretend as if you already believe this to be true about you. Number 5, look into the most difficult situation you're dealing with right now. What valuable lessons does it contain that can help you to become better in the future? It's really wonderful, powerful how this book helps each one of us in making ourselves better versions of ourselves. So quickly, we've had about more than half an hour of reading today. Let's have that 100 seconds of Lotus of Gratitude. So let's put our both hands together, small little buds. Each finger will open up as one petal of the lotus blooming. And let's think of something that we've been grateful for today. And there must be 10 in number. Small, big doesn't matter, but just do it with a lot of love and gratitude, not just for the sake of doing it. Let's do it.
The friend I have to enjoy travel. And I wish you the
Gratitude is the biggest multiplier. So much to be grateful for in our life. Hardly takes 100 seconds to express 10 gratitude. And how powerfully wonderful we feel. So much of love, so much of happiness. When we count our blessings, blessings tend to grow. Now feel the love expanding in your heart that you're such a blessed soul. So much has been given to you. Expand the field of receiving. Expand your hands on your chest level in abundance pose. You have hands facing heavens above. I am open and receptive to all the wonderful magic, synchronicities, prosperity in my life. I am always at the right place at the right time. My mindset is super positive. I attract goodness. I radiate love and light. I am blessed with the luck. She's always by my side. Wherever I go, prosperity follows me. I am love, I'm joy, I'm happiness, I'm whole and complete, and so it is. Fold your hands together, bow in gratitude to all the masters, angels, divine beings, light beings for helping us achieve so much more in our inner and outer journey. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Be rested well, sleep tight, and have a good night. I'll see you tomorrow at 9 p.m. Thank you, thank you, thank you.